What is up, guys? It's Nundark. Do you like to see other people's Pokemon collections in their entirety? The good, the bad, the ugly, how they binder their cards, what is all in their collection, what is their collection worth, how do they organize their Pokemon room or cave, if you will, which I'm sitting in, how do they go about, specifically for me, what's all in here? You as a viewer see a backdrop, sure, it's not that close up, you don't know what's there, you don't know what cards are in all these binders, and you see me cover certain topics and go through certain pickups or talk about a trade or a deal or something that happened at a Collecticon or a card show, or some of the shorts I've put out recently of like modern card pickups that I've personally made, whatever. But you don't until I do these kind of quarterly collection updates. I don't know why I'm wearing a hood. It is cold in my basement. But I don't want you thinking you are watching a collection update video from Anakin Skywalker himself. So my camera is shaking. I will use the force to stop that. But yes, never say I didn't do anything for you. I will freeze my way through this video for you. And what you can do in return, hey, you haven't even seen any of my collection yet at all. And this video might not be worth a subscription, but you could just do it. You can do it. That's all I'll say. That's probably the last plug I'm going to make in this video. Why? Because there's so much to go over, and I'm so excited for this video. Before I show you the collection, one thing, I've been waiting for the right time to do this video. It has not been as easy for me to decide that time as in the past, because typically the past quarterly collection update big videos happened after a significant event, or a grading submission return, and our collection kind of grew at those points. I wasn't going as hard as I have been on a weekly basis, where I legitimately question, if I put this video out now as you're watching it, what am I going to get next week that I'm going to be bummed didn't make it in this video? It is more trade shows than ever I'm going to. It is flipping, buying, selling, not flipping cards in that negative way we are seeing right now, but flipping my collection into other things that I want, right? Turning things that I've had for a while, liquidating them to acquire other cards. Sure, are there market plays there? Yeah. Are you going to see a couple things in my collection today? Yes, that I believe in and are more of a value pickup? Absolutely. But make no mistake, I'm a collector at heart. I am a Pokemon collector and massive, fully addicted fan. I am so into it lately, I have a hard time knowing what's going to happen in the next month that won't make this video. But if I never put one of these videos out, then there's never a log of how the collection has changed. And you guys deserve that. So I hope you guys find this fun. We're going to start with a lay of the land of my room, and then we are going to get straight into bangers. The last time I did this, I kept you guys on the hook for like 30 minutes, and I went through little things like binders and my opened ETBs that everyone's going to comment on that they're opened, and little things like that before I got to the banger slabs and my red binder, which is my pride and joy, and changes I've made to those and kind of the higher value things. I'm going to start there this time and then save you guys the back half if you want, or if you find this entertaining and you want to keep going, ride it out with me till the end, and I greatly appreciate it. So without further ado, I will pause here, flip you around, and show you kind of this approach as I enter the room and how I lay out my shelving, and then what's actually behind the camera, which is what I look at all day long when I work, game, sort cards, whatever, and it's all my slabs. And then I do have some things on the wall up here. And I'll also just kind of drop where I got some of these display products and what they are called. That will be something that gets commented on too. So thank you for watching this video. I'll flip you around right now. So as you enter the room, this is my kind of shelving unit on the back wall, which displays all of my product cards. And there's a lot to it, and even like childhood animals and plushies and things like that. Up at the top are just trinkets, plushies, figurines, McDonald's boxes. What are these called? I'm not even a collector of this product. Oh, Pops. Yeah. So I do have an Eevee Pop. I also have a Pikachu Pop, but those are also my two favorite Pokemon. I am not a Pop collector. but I do have two of those, Little Mr. Potato Head, Poncho Pikachu, and Eevee Poncho Pikachu. Obviously, you get the point with what my favorite Pokemon are. But backing up a little bit, I have started to grow my sealed product collection. You will see a lot of 151. You will see some prismatic. You will see one Sword and Shield Celebrations product. Behind that, though, and you can see some of them still at the forefront, are ETBs, every ETB from the Scarlet and Violet era, and almost every ETB from the Sword and Shield era. So on the right, it's Sword and Shield. On the left, it's Scarlet and Violet in order. Scarlet and Violet base, Paldea, Obsidian, 151, Paradox Rift, you name it, the list goes on. We get all the way down to what is current, which is Surging Sparks and Prismatic Evolutions, okay? Journey Together, Battle Partners, that'll come next. Over here, you have Sword and Shield, starting with Sword and Shield base, going into Battle Styles, and then behind some of the sealed product, you have Darkness Ablaze, Vivid Voltage, Shining Fates, etc. Right? Chilling Reign, my favorite Sword and Shield set, but a lot of Sword and Shield sets, okay? All the way down here, I'm missing a couple. Some of them are pricey. I could get them, but I just haven't yet. And it fills the shelves quite nicely. In the middle here, we'll go through some of these cards, but in the middle here are just like Japanese booster boxes that I've opened and pack art that I've kept and things like that. English booster boxes down here. So this is just bulk. It's a way to store my bulk where it keeps it clean and out of the forefront, if you will. But okay, shelf by shelf now, and then we'll get into the bangers. Oh, I guess so, yeah. That is the back wall, okay? Back wall. Binders in the middle, eBay shop here. Yeah, we'll go through every shelf. But that's the back wall, and then some real special items here in the middle. It's the back wall, and then as you get over, you have 3 wall frames from Michaels, which allow you to put cards in them. What I will say about these is don't put your high-valued cards in them, because penny sleeves and top loaders, this is not for keeping your cards in gem mint condition. This is for cards that you enjoy displaying. That I'm not saying these displays are going to damage your cards, but it's a little cumbersome opening these plastic little slide-ins and getting your card in there, but these cards sit in there naked. So these are not cards that are the valuable pieces of my collection, okay? This one over here is Japanese vintage Pokemon cards that I've collected or from my childhood. This is my Tyranitar and Groudon row. I'm trying to get the blinding light away from you guys. But there are modern cards, English and Japanese. There's a Master Ball Groudon, a Japanese Groudon, the English Paldea Tyranitar. Why would I keep that card, which is worth $50, in a potentially damageable situation? Well, that is because I will never get rid of it. Money doesn't matter for this card. I pulled it with my brother. So this is just my Tyranitar Groudon row, a vintage Team Magmar Groudon, and then another couple, a Team Aqua, Walrein, some Japanese, and these are the first 3. I'm trying to block the light here. These are the first 3 cards I ever pulled that got me back into Pokemon from my Obsidian Flames ETB. They will always remain framed. Again, money doesn't matter for these cards. I want to look at them every day. This one is promo cards, okay? Top to bottom. There are some of the Milk Crate Trainer Pokemon cards down here. I love that Phoebe card. And then Scarlet and Violet era from the beginning all the way through the Scarlet and Violet era, right? All the way down to Surging Sparks Magneton and Prismatic Eevee. These are not their Pokemon Center valuable counterparts. Yes, some of these have gone up. Yes, should I keep a $20 Charmander and a $12 Snorlax in a sleeve and top loader? Sure, but I have other copies. This is to display what I believe represents the era of Scarlet and Violet fairly well. And they are promo cards. And then here, these are vintage cards. No, I'm not keeping a $200 Dragonite EX from Dragon Frontiers, potentially, in a naked, damage-prone condition. This is already damaged. It's from my childhood. I want to display it and always look at it, so it's there. And then here are just other cards that meant a lot to me as a child. Vintage Hollows. These are all real. None of them are fake, but none of them are in you know, gem mint or even near mint condition, to be honest. Some of these are, right? Some of these are not. And then a signed card from a band I like, and signed cards from, and sports cards from, hockey players I've watched and looked up to my whole life. Then the back wall, I'd be remiss if I didn't shout out the clay Pikachu that my wife made me, and some of these little, almost like botanical succulent ornament scenes with a Pokemon in it that my brother picked up from a local street holiday fair. There's Nidoran. The other one was Jigglypuff. So I got a couple mementos there. And then I have, you know, where I sort cards and do videos. You guys are typically seeing the camera there looking back at my back wall. I need a glass of water. I'm getting so emotional talking about Pokemon. All right, and then this is kind of my prize, other than my red binder, my vintage hollow binder, this is kind of the prizes of my collection. And these I look at all the time. Obviously, I have my 2 monitors there and work. And right here is all of my bangers from in slab form. This is your sneak peek. We will go through these fairly quickly, actually, or fairly soon in detail. Picked up a real banger there. These are some vintage big boys. These are almost 10s across the board, other than some vintage ones from my childhood. But yeah, this slab, this is a Slab Labs display, which I believe was either created or is partially owned by the Bulbasaur. And speaking of Bulbasaur, and we will get back to these slabs in detail, on my 151 sealed collection shelf, this card was signed by the Bulbasaur himself at Chicago Collecticon. So that's very special. All right, so then going top down, that we don't really need to focus on too hard. ETBs here. Coming down, we have the poster collection from 151. We have 3. I am proud of myself that I haven't ripped into my sealed collection. That has been a goal of mine for a while. I continuously fail. This year I will not. I very much want to watch these products grow in value and know that I have part ownership in them. This is my favorite set of all time. And what really, really frustrates me is I love it so much that I open it often and I don't really keep any sealed or keep any for myself. And then they become unaffordable. I bought these at a low price point where I can now watch their value grow and either make a play on that, or I can just cherish having, you know, pretty coveted, hard to find boxes, or someday I can open them knowing at that time what they'd be worth and how unobtainable they are in the future, but that when I got these, I paid a relatively reasonable price. I think that will be cool. So whether or not these at some point in the future get opened or not, these are long-term sealed plays. I have 6 English booster bundles, 3 Japanese booster boxes, and a Zapdos and Alakazam EX kind of collection boxes there. And then the Bulbasaur signed card, some more ETBs. I love Pikachus. This is everything Pikachu. I mean, I have more Pikachus, but Pikachu Lego figurine. This is just basically my sticker, Pez toy figurine, you know, vintage Topps cards and movie cards and promos. I mean, I could spend an hour going through all this. Like these Topps series or series 1, like holographic little tiles where it shows each Pokemon's evolution line, right? So look at that, Squirtle, Wartortle, Blastoise, and their Pokedex. I think these are so cool, and a lot of this is from my childhood. I do pick it up if I see cool stuff like this, very niche stuff, like even here, my Neopets cards. That's crazy. And while I'm on Neopets, shout out to Raikou and Scorpio right there. Yeah, I'm very nostalgic, as you can see. Sirius Black Lego figure, aliens. These little guys, Ewoks from Star Wars. I mean, I love Legos, I love figurines. But yeah, this is basically figurines Pikachu shelf. All right. I said earlier we would get to the bangers first. I am going to hold true to my word, but please know that there is so much more on this shelf. Actually, we'll do the middle because this is all just absolute heat. And then we'll get to the slabs in the red binder. So here in the top middle shelf, I have a Pokemon Cards value book from 2016. It is absolutely unbelievable how prices in Pokemon have changed since even 2016. It's crazy. It's a very cool read. Cool book. I like displaying it. It's actually owned by Frank. Shout out. But all right, these are two heavy first edition packs that I opened at Collecticon, a jungle and a fossil pack. I say what you want about weighing packs. I also fundamentally disagree with it wholeheartedly, and would never weigh packs to sell them and, make a profit off them. But it is what it is. When you go to a Collecticon, you don't want to get scammed and buy a unweighed pack and get screwed because someone did weigh it and now you just spent $300, $400 to not pull a holo. So I made the decision with my money to buy a guaranteed heavy pack for a higher price point to ensure that I pulled a holo. Say what you'd like, but it was a remarkably fun experience. Those are the two pack arts that I kept. Here's my childhood Pikachu. I graded it, not caring the grade it would get. This is the one that was in the best condition from my binder, actually, and it got a 5.5. I love these international promo cards, these adorable Pikachu promo cards that come with this like Pokemon Center, whether it's like Taipei or let's see what these ones actually are. Kanazawa. So this one's Kanazawa and this one is Taipei. So yeah, just different, countries and cities, Pokemon centers, international Pikachu cards, essentially. Those are like actually my favorite thing to collect. And then over here, this is my favorite pack art of all time. It's the Gym Heroes Misty pack art first edition pack. And here's the non-holo Misty first edition to kind of go with it. Not pulled from it, just Frank gifted me the pack art, and this is a card I bought. Here's my cat. Shout out Nate for making my cat, Kevin the Girl Cat, into a Pokemon card. That's really, really special, really cool. Then down here we have some, let's call these modern bangers, quote unquote, or cards I very much enjoy, many of which come with a fond opening experience memory. Pulled this Iron Leaves with my wife. I remember pulling this at the time chase card from Temporal Forces, the Japanese set of Temporal Forces, Morty's Conviction. Yeah, I don't actually remember the day I pulled this, but this thing has just become obviously a huge card, and I do really enjoy that I own it, and I like the evolutions. And that is probably one of the few Umbreon I'll ever own, given how in demand Umbreon is, let alone the Gold Star, even the Celebrations variant. Then I am trying to get all of the Terrestrial Festival, the Japanese version of Prismatic Evolutions, Evolution SARs. So here is Glaceon, here is Espeon, and here is Eevee, one of the two Eevees. In English, we have yet to get the Fruit Platter Eevee, because that'll be in the UPC. But those are three that I have. I have a fourth, but it's slabbed. You saw it earlier in this video. I love the Sawsbuck and Deerling duality artwork. I'm a huge fan of duality artwork and vibrant colors, so these will always be displayed, or at least I haven't ever found a desire to take them down. And this Drowsy, I actually do appreciate this card for the artwork, not just the recent hype. But this will remain a card that no matter how many times it gets bought out or manipulated or hyped up, I think it will survive all of that because the artwork is absolutely stupendous. Tomokazu Kamiya nailed this one. I love that card, and I've really grown to appreciate it through the hype. And then some of my Yu-Gi-Oh cards, some I've acquired from trade. These are actually all 5 childhood cards. That's why they are displayed even over some better ones behind. There's those. This one always, I guess, made me the happiest. I don't know why, but it did. And then this stack of EVs, you guys can't really see it, but there's, I think, like 60 EVs there. Those are all unique EV cards. Here, I'll just mess up my office. One sec. Take some of these down. These are all individual, in order chronologically. Build-A-Bear Workshop one. I mean, I basically just hunt for, like, I'm not talking $100 EV cards, but just unique prints, trainer gallery, modern of Eevee. I just love Eevee. There's a stack. I'm going to do something cool with that for my goddaughter named Eevee at some point. That's my Eevee cards. All right, let's fix the camera here. Okay, we got through the middle. Well, at this point, let's just waffle even more, finish this out, and get to then the fun stuff. We have some vintage pack art here and vintage playmats and original like ruby and sapphire, fire red, leaf green playmats, Sword Shield UPC. All right, more sealed product here. The Lance's Charizard Celebration Collection. I do believe there's a couple Sword and Shield packs in there. Here's my only prismatic sealed item. It is the poster collection. A couple ETBs behind that. All right, this is a card that I almost can guarantee from a pre-grading standpoint will get a PSA 10. It is so clean. It's just an absolute fire card, so this is just waiting to be graded. Here is a couple sealed English Pelde ETB promo and the Japanese original Scarlet and Violet stamped promo. And there's a chance this is Chinese. I mean, no offense by not knowing the answer to that, but someone please let me know. I just love this card in general. Doesn't matter the language. I love the artwork. I want to have some of these sealed for sure. Here's a couple slabs that are not mine. They're Nate's and or Pygons that were graded and shipped back to me that need to go to them. This PSA 10 is a absolute banger. So congrats to him for pulling that. More ETBs, and then this is kind of just my shop. I have base set master sets of like sets like Paldea, Obsidian, and 151 in these deck boxes. This is a stack, a fairly large stack of cards. English, Japanese, promo cards, vintage, modern, Galarian Gallery, Master Balls, Prismatic, you know, Gengar Megas from XY era, Shinings, Full Arts, you name it. This is a stack that I'm willing to kind of part with and sell, and it's worth, I think, $250. So that is in my, you know, sell area. These are all cards that I'm willing to sell, and none of them come with an extremely high value. You know, top loaders, sleeves, shipping equipment, stuff like that's here, and then just a ton of penny sleeves. I prefer, obviously, the clear penny sleeves, so that's why those ones to the right don't really get used. But then in here, these are, we're not going to spend too much time on these. These are what I call kind of my tier 2 slabs. So my slab collection has grown and more on the way. So these are still pretty cool, and they mean a lot to me. I haven't gotten rid of them, but they are certainly tier 2. We'll actually bring these out, and we'll start to now talk about, I guess, the slabs. But before I do, here is my binder collection. There's an Eevee, Pikachu, and all Pokemon puzzle. Here's all the UPC books. Here are like original Gotta Catch 'Em All Scholastic Pokemon books. So the whole series. That is really cool. I'll put that back later. Binders, PSA magazines, sticker books, yeah, just some really cool stuff. And then certain binders that have cards in them, we'll go through binders last. But this is my absolute pride and joy, and this is my vintage hollow binder, which you guys have seen before. If you haven't, you're in for a treat. But it is in order, and it's my vintage hollow binder. There's more to come in that. But yeah, let's go take you out to the table and go through my slabs in this red vintage hollow binder. All right, so here is that Slab Labs display, which I use to basically display my favorite 24 slabs. And then I have those tier 2s in this, you know, Paldea ETB top. And then there's my vintage hollow binder. So we're gonna go through some of the most prized pieces of my collection out on this table, and then we'll kind of wrap her up. We'll go through maybe a couple other binders quickly. And yeah, let's get right to it with what I call the 3 vintage grails. And by grails, I mean a Gold Star Pokemon. This was childhood. A Legendary Collection Reverse Hollow Pikachu. Legendary Collection Reverse Hollows are very pricey, very rare. They can be found fairly easily, a little bit more easy than like a Shining or a Gold Star raw in the wild. But to find one that is mint in a 9, doesn't matter the grading company, there is only like, I believe, 30 to 40 cards in better condition than this one graded by CGC. And maybe like 200 in PSA. So this is like a top 300 condition Legendary Collection Reverse Hollow Pikachu in existence in the world. And that has become actually the #1 most valuable card in my collection, which is awesome. I've been wanting to grab that for a while. This was my brother-in-law's childhood Shining Mewtwo. I bought this from him and then graded it, and it hit a 5.5. This Pikachu SAR from Surging Sparks, or the Japanese equivalent, Super Electric Breaker, I pulled as the clock struck midnight on my 30th birthday, and it hit a 10. That is awesome. Whether or not that story was needed to be shared and you think it's cool or not, it was an experience and a memory I will never ever forget. This unique low warm Pikachu Japanese promo card is one of 4, and I loved them, and I didn't know they existed till I went to Collecticon. Had to have it, graded it, hit a 7. Absolutely love this card. It's one of my favorite Pikachu prints ever. This is the first edition Vaporeon that I pulled out of the heavy jungle pack at Collecticon. It hit a PSA 8. That's really special. This actually, I did a short opening this pack. Was the short that took my channel to kind of, you know, new heights. I know I'm still a small channel, but the opening of this heavy pack and pulling this Vaporeon has surpassed 700,000 views and really allowed my channel to hit some of those thresholds, like 1,000 subscribers, etc., that are required for monetization. And that's not really even all it's about. That's not why I'm in this hobby, but I just have a really fond memory of pulling this card, and it's really cool that the video of pulling this is the one video I've ever made that really went almost semi-viral. So it's just, I will always keep this card just as an appreciation for that moment and kind of what it did to the channel. These are 3 of my favorite modern cards ever, and they are all in 10s. So, and it looks like they were from the same, maybe the same submission. They are not sequential, but they are the 3 legendary dogs from Crown Zenith, all in a 10. This is my favorite evolution from the new set. From an artwork standpoint, the Jolteon, and this is the Japanese version from Terrestrial Festival, in a 10. These 2 cards my wife and I pulled from Japanese 151 boxes. It is a Mewtwo Master Ball and the Mew SAR, both of which hit a 10, which is awesome. Japanese print quality remains just unmatched, and I think these were back-to-back boxes, which made both boxes just crazy, because this is one of the pricier SARs you can pull, and this is one of the better Master Balls you can pull, and then for both to hit a 10, that's really special. Here's my 151 trio. This was the Charizard that evaded my wife and I for like 20 UPCs, and we finally pulled it, and it hit a 9. And then she pulled this Venusaur, which hit a 10, and this Blastoise I pulled, which hit a 10. It's interesting that CGC graded the cards we pulled as a 10, Charizard as a 9. Obviously small sample size, but just interesting. But I have to have all 3 slabbed. Then, this is really cool. I submitted 2 of these. The Secret Rare Pikachu from Crown Zenith, and one of them hit a Pristine 10. I love the CGC Gold Label Pristine 10 look, and for an English card to hit a Pristine 10 is so much rarer than, in my experience at least, grading with CGC, so much rarer than Japanese. So that's a card I really love. This Psyduck, to have a first edition fossil Psyduck, just a card I can vividly remember from 20 years ago, hit a Pristine 10 in English and be that old is wild to me. Here's my Reverse Hollow Snorlax from Skyridge, which hit a 4. This is from childhood. Here's another childhood couple of cards. The Dark Dragonite from Team Rocket Returns. And this first edition Gengar non-hollow is a 9.5, which is a crazy high grade for a first edition vintage card, making that all the more shocking. I love this Growlithe, this Detective Pikachu riding the Growlithe card. This Japanese promo hit a 10, and it's cool that Growlithe is with Pikachu in the 151 art rare version. There's actually a lot of hidden Pokemons. I challenge you guys to count them and let me know in the comments how many unique Pokemon are in this scene, but it's, I think, north of 10. But yeah, I like that Growlithe and Pikachu are in both of these cards. Then these 3 cards are, 2 of the cards are in Stellar Crown, and this is the Obsidian Flames promo, but in Japanese they were released in the Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur EX like specialty box, and I graded the promos. These are actually sequential. So if you guys can tell, that's 09, 10, and 11. These were sequential 10s in the same submission, all 3 promos, and that is just so hard to believe that that happened. And I submitted 2 copies of each, and the first set of sequentials was a sequential 9 set. So yeah, just crazy. But those are some of my favorite slabs. A couple more, recent pickups like the Pikachu and this Jolteon, and recently graded ones like that. But yeah, really like my kind of tier A graded cards, and then my tier Bs, and we'll just flip through these real quick. Pikachu, art rare, Japanese, and a 10. This is also from some of the heavy packs I opened at Collecticon. This Executor hit a 9. This Golem hit an 8. I kept the 8 just because I've always loved this card. I don't know why. Just good memories with it. I think some of these next ones I will be selling. This Ghastly 8 I don't need. This Unknown A, I wanted to get my name graded in unknowns, but I think I want to do that in first edition 10s just someday. Legendary Collection non-hollow, I believe. Yep, Legendary Collection non-hollow Lava Theme Deck Charizard in a 6.5. This was the other big card I purchased from my brother-in-law. Then we have a couple Pikachu promos here, or a Pikachu promo in a 10 with other Pikachus in the tree. We have a German Poliwhirl first edition base set Quapuzzi in a 9. Now that's probably the grail of the entire collection. Sarcasm. I like hiking, so I've always kept this. This is I would sell this card. It doesn't mean that much to me if it weren't worth $9 in a 9. So I'm almost forced to hang on to that. I do like the gold on gold here, and any pristine CGC card I love, especially with the colors line, but I'm not tied to it per se. This Charizard and this Vulpix Master Ball were the first Japanese 151 boxes I opened, and they might have even been the same box. So for the secret rare to be this full art Charizard, and for the Master Ball to be a Vulpix, a starter Pokemon, Well, I guess they all are, but a basic, you know, semi-popular Pokemon. There are worse Master Balls to get in 151, like a petrified fossil, the turd of all turds. And for both of them to hit a 10, that was really cool. So as you can see, we've really had good luck on Japanese 151. Oh yeah, the Rhydon is the card that I have really good memories of. Man, I vividly remember this card so distinctly from my childhood, and it hit a 9, it's first edition, and we pulled it. That is super cool. And same with this Cubone. This Cubone, obviously wearing a Charizard skull, is just an iconic Cubone art, and a really cool one at that. And it hit a 9. That's just super cool to me to have some of these vintage cards in 9s. I'm going to crack this. It's worth way more. And I also have in this red binder kind of like a mini master set of Pikachus. And this would look really good in the front page. But yeah, don't need this in a 4, but it's really cool. I love the Delta Species gimmick. So that's that. First edition Italian base set Pikachu in an 8.5. It's a high grade. And not a lot of sales on it, but I think somewhat valuable, maybe in the $100 range. You guys know how I feel about this artwork. This was the first Paldea ETB I opened, and I graded the card. I've opened more, so I should have pre-graded better and tried to get one that it would hit a 10, but I just submitted this. It hit a 9. I'm not too butthurt about it, but it looks clean. Light Piloswine in a 10, found this, and just because it's a first edition Light Piloswine from the Neo series, which I love, and it hit a 10, I'm not going to crack it. I think it's just cool. This is a crack contender for my vintage hollow binder, but I haven't yet. This is from Gym Challenge, the Giovanni's Machamp in a 7. I'm a gambler for sure, and this is a card I pulled in those same heavy packs that hit a 9. I really wanted this one to hit a 10. I thought that would be hilarious. But yep, there's my gambler card in a 9. Here is the Surging Sparks Full Art Pikachu EX. I love the rainbow border in this card. It actually pops almost... So this artwork I think is better, but because the artwork's so colorful and good, it draws your eye away from the border, in my opinion. And the borders are literally the exact same, but I just think because this one's kind of more blah and Terra Crown focused and white, that it draws your eye to the harder border more, and this one hit a 9. And then the banger of all bangers, the Japanese Clash of the Blue Sky First Edition 2004 Coughing in an 8.5. I believe this is a pop 1 of 1, so I know what I have. I will take best offers. Your best offer better be north of 5,000. It's a 1 of 1. I know what I have. All right, so all jokes aside, that is my slab collection. I'll clear this table off, and then it's time to go through that red binder. All right, so red binder first. This is my pride and joy. This is what I take to card shows and seek to fill. We won't spend too much time on these binders, but this one I will flip through page by page. It starts with base set. It goes into jungle, which has several no stamp air jungle cards. Then it goes into fossil. We get into Team Rocket, the completion of fossil on the left side, and then Team Rocket over here, which I have mastered as well. And then we get into Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge, which I am missing some cards on. That is the first secret rare Pokemon ever printed by Pokemon, with the denominator higher than the numerator higher than the denominator, 83 out of 82. And that is the Dark Raichu from Team Rocket. Then you get into Gym Heroes, all the way through Sabrina's Gengar and some of these trainers, all the way down to my girl Misty and the Rocket's Trap. And then Gym Challenge. And this is where where we're currently at, basically, and where we start to pursue and hunt vintage hollows in near mint all the way down to moderately played, and there are a couple exceptions of ludicrously expensive cards that I will accept like heavily played or damaged on, pending their price. But yeah, a lot of work to do in Gym Challenge. We're starting to get there on the back end here, but then you get into the Neos. And I did recently, actually, in a short, share a couple Neo cards, the Houndoom with the pink background and the Neo Genesis Lugia, that I did part with to help offset some of the cost of that Legendary Collection Pikachu Grail card that I picked up. But yes, here is Neo Genesis. We get into Neo Discovery. Neo Discovery I opened the most of as a kid and have so many first edition non-hollows, which you'll see soon. But then we get through Neo Discovery and we get to Neo Revelation with the Ampharos and Blissey down there, and your Delibird here, and your Porygon 2 here, and then you get into Neo Destiny with the Dark Donphan and Dark Typhlosion. Neo Destiny had the lights and darks. There's a light Dragonite and light Arcanine that I really want. They're expensive, and clearly I have a lot of work. As you get through the Neo sets, the progress I've made dwindles and the work needed to be done grows. Okay, so then after the Neos, then you get to my reverse hollow Legendary Collection. There is that secret rare Dark Raichu. That's probably the most expensive one that I own other than the Pikachu. Then you have Moltres, Hypno. I just love this fireworks foil pattern so much, and when you have an entire page full of them, it really, really looks cool. And a dream of mine is to collect every single one of these cards, but that, as another one of my videos showed, is like a $7,500 feat raw. So take that for what it's worth. But I do own 16 of them, 17 with the Pikachu. Then here are some hollows and hollows and reverse hollows from the e-reader sets. And some energy cards there. This Wooper I vividly remember from way back when. So that's cool. And then here's a reverse hollow and hollow variant of the Cloisters for example of how they're different. This was the era of the crystals, which I don't own any of. Okay, these 2 pages are my Southern Islands set. It is an 18 card set ending with this Primeape, and they all create one scene and one artwork. I've gone over that in a separate video, but yes, trust me when I say they all create an artwork, and each Pokemon card has multiple Pokemon in it, which is one of my favorite things about it. And some are this like sparkly reverse hollow variant, like this Togepi and this Slowking and this Vileplume. So I am halfway complete with Southern Islands. That will also be in this binder. Then this is my WotC promo collection. So WotC promos were the first Black Star promos ever made, and they were just numbered in the bottom right hand corner. 1, 2, 3, 4. So a little bit different than modern promos. And some were holographic, right? And this one was like the Game Boy promo card, but I would like to collect all 54 WotC promos. Here's the legendary birds. Here's a real big boy. This, Nundark's Pikachu. It's called the Birthday Pikachu. So much work to be done here. Some of them are extremely expensive, upwards of like $700. Here's a movie promo I remember getting as a kid. That Entei. And then, yes, it all ends with... Here's a couple Pokemon Forever ones, and then it all ends with the Ancient Mew, which came out during the movies, and you also got this with it, I believe. This is an Ancient Mew in really good shape. I graded my brother's and gave it to him for Christmas because he always loved this card. And then here is some Team Rocket Returns cards and a Portuguese Charizard from base set 2. Oh no, this is my childhood. Charizard with Scotch tape on the bottom right corner and damaged in like 5 areas. Probably still a $50 card, maybe even more, maybe even 100. Base set 2 holo Charizard damaged. Let me know what that value is. But it's just a card I will always own. It was my childhood Charizard. So that found its home on that page, and then you get to the Pikachus. Absolute bangers on this page. I'll give you guys a second to just look through them. Recently picked up this Build-A-Bear Workshop sealed promo, and then this special delivery Charizard Pikachu card. But there are some big ones, obviously highlighted by the Pikachu VMAX in this EX one. Here's a Kentucky Fried Chicken Indonesian promo. Obviously same artwork as this English promo. I mean, the amount of variety and creativity around Pikachu promo cards and Pikachu cards in general that the Pokemon Company has done for its mascot is unbelievable. It's exceptional. It is everything I love as a collector. So I collect a lot of them, and there are so many more to collect. Like, you can just really look at every artwork and be amazed at the cuteness. Couple tops cards. Okay, and then after Pikachu's, it's just a little more on my Celebrations collection. The Umbreon's obviously displayed in my office. I do want to have all 8 of the gold energies. I just think these 2 yellow cards go well together. This is from Obsidian Flames with that card. These 2 are from Paldea. And then other sets, but I do want to have all 8 Scarlet and Violet energies in their hyper rare form together. I think that would be cool. This is my Delta Species page. Cards that come with a different energy type than their typical form. Then over here is the Terrestrial Festival Evolutions page. Here's a couple English ones that I pulled. Here's the 8 that come in Terrestrial Festival, and then this is the Pokemon Day 2025 promo Eevee. So I really like this page and what they did with the Evolutions. And then these are 3 of my favorite IRs. I had a full page here of modern illustration rares that I just truly appreciate the artwork of. Sold 8 of them to get a Blastoise and Venusaur duplicate from 151. The SIRs, but I did keep these 3. This reminds me of just like a statue in Central Park. I work in construction, so I love when I see Pokemon. I love construction sites in general, right? Like, this is more residential, this timber card, and this is more commercial, but I love seeing Pokemon in their natural habitats kind of working with humans. So yeah, these 3 cards I will always hang on to, or at least try to. So that's the red binder. That is the Pride and Joy. Then we'll quickly flip through the others. This I will try to do in like 2 minutes flat. Okay, so this is obviously base set. Okay, anything with a spot missing is a card I'm missing. I don't pursue filling this as hard as I should. I will get there. This is shadowless base set, so a little bit cooler, a little bit more rare. In here, there are a few first edition cards. We'll see if we see any. Okay, maybe I'm just a liar, but that's my shadowless collection. Okay, yeah, there is like a literal first edition, first ever printing of the Defender. I really thought there was one. Maybe not. Oh, I got rid of my Charmander and Charmeleon first edition shadowless cards, but they were like so damaged. Okay, then here's Fossil. Again, this is my holo binder, so holo rares. These are non-holo rares and uncommons and commons from all the sets that we just went through. So you'll start to see more and more first editions as we get to less rare sets. This is Fossil. So still really cool. Much more easy to obtain, you know, first edition variants of these cards. Some still come with, you know, a decent price point. Then base set 2. I got rid of my base set 2 holos. I don't love reprint sets in general, but I had enough of the base set 2 non-holos to warrant bindering them. I do like that Lacey. Base set 2 was huge. Okay, so that's that binder. Then let's do the blue one next because it stays in the vintage, kind of the vintage limelight. All right, so then you get into Team Rocket. Boom, there's Team Rocket. You got the Dark Evolutions. Then you get into Neo Genesis. You start to see a lot of first editions here. Not so many in Neo Genesis, but it is very complete. And then wait until you see Neo Discovery. So pretty much a completed Neo Genesis from the non-holo standpoint. And then watch this. So Neo Discovery non-holo rares have some work to do. Okay, these are still non-holo rares. Did pick up this Umbreon. This was a gift from Frank. I think it is in a different language. No, that's a different Ursaring card. But yeah, some work to do, and then wait till you see the next page. I believe it is entirely in first edition. Wait. Actually, most of these are all in first edition. Yep. This whole page is first edition. So maybe as a kid, I was just ripping Neo Discovery first edition packs. Every B or A that I ever got on a report card. Who knows? And boy, if I would have kept those sealed. Then you get into kind of the rare Neo sets, less printed, less opened. Wasn't that Pokemon was starting its downturn? I think that was more like into and after the EX era. But yeah, here's Neo Revelation. Sudowoodo. Then Neo Revelation Morov. Then Neo Destiny. Pretty sick card. Light Dragonair. I love the light cards more than the dark cards. That just matches my energy and vibe. And I even like the artworks better. Like, look at these. Light Dugong, Flareon, Golduck, Jolteon. This Light Jolteon with Togepi and Rattata is an all-time card. And the value reflects it. It's like $20, but I just love it. I love it so much more than the dark Pokemon. But this set, Neo Destiny, is all time. Like even that Light Sunflora. Okay, so there's, here's a first edition Lucky Stadium card. More unknowns. The unknowns all came from the Neo sets. But yeah, so that's really my Neo and Team Rocket binder. We'll just keep that cap. This is 151. So there are a couple modern sets, 151 Crown Zenith and Paldea, that I essentially have mastered. I do have the Charizard, but it's slabbed. So here's my master set of 151. I like to do these combined artworks in the order of how not how their cards are numbered, but how the scene flows. So this one I believe flows downward in my eyes. This one, Charmander's looking up to Charmeleon, and then in the sky above Charmeleon is Charizard. And this beach to the depths of the ocean is how I believe that flows. Then it's numbered ordered. So obviously 151 is what got a lot of people back into the hobby. It is an all-time of all-time sets. And I'm missing 2 full arts, and then I will have a full master set. The Jinx and the Wigglytuff are all that I need. And then every other card. If I'm missing it, it is the reverse holo variant that I need. Other than, I need both Prince of the Gengar, which for how much 151 I've opened is actually shocking. And then toward the back, you get to my Japanese master set of 151. I would like to have this binder have both. In Japanese, you get a ton of art rares because you're guaranteed 3 in every box, and you just pull them nonstop. And there aren't that many art rares in 151. However, full arts are treated as secret rares. So are special art rares. So SARs and SRs in Japanese, you get one per box, which are now $140 boxes. At one point, they were over 200. So it is very hard to fill this page unless you go single shopping, which if I see these cards, I will start to do. Here are some Master Balls. I believe that is a Korean Bellsprout Master Ball. The rest are English. And this, I pulled this Master Ball in the same pack, I think, as this card, or maybe the same box, but I thought it was funny that I got a Tangela Master Ball and Tangela Art Rare, and I believe the same pack, so I kept those two together. Okay, so that's my 151 binder. All right. This is Crown Zenith, so I start with the Galarian Gallery. Another set that I will always own mastered, unless I really deem something I'm looking to acquire worth separating with these master sets. The yellow bordered Galarian cards are easier to pull. I have more work to do with the silver bordered GGs. It's getting there, and obviously I have the 3 legendary dogs in a 10. There's obviously the 4 gold kind of god cards that I still need. I did submit the Mewtwo for grading, so I do have one of the kind of 5 big boys. But yeah, and then all the promo cards, and essentially I'd say like a 75% completed master set, and I have over half of the, yeah, probably 50 to 75% of the GGs and 75% of the base. And then Paldea, I'm far and away better at, or closer to mastering. So here is Paldea. You'll notice a couple cards I'm missing. I have Frank setting those aside. I will be buying those from him. They include the $300 Magikarp and then the Arctibax, Frigibax, Baxcalibur line, which also is artwork by our boy Tomokazu Kamiya. He's blowing up. But there is the Raichu. A lot of IRs, 36 IRs in Paldea Evolved, and we have most of them. This has the starters of Fuecoco, Sprigatito, and Quaxley. A lot of full arts too. It's just a ginormous set. And then here's the SARs. We need the Iono. And then there's the golds and the pack art and this regional championship Iono stamped card. Yeah, stamped card, stamped reverse hollow variant of Iono. That's really cool. Found that at a local card store. And then basically every reverse hollow and common print of every card in the set. And then at the end, every single EX. And there are extra pages of like the Ionos and Jet Energies, which I loved pulling because it was ancillary costs that helped pay off the cost of the box because they were super playable and are super playable cards. And then some promos. So yeah, that's the Paldea binder. Okay, and we have 3 binders left. All right, and just uber quickly, the final binders. This is the EX and e-reader eras in a binder. So this is Expedition, Base, and Aquapolis. Right there. And then here is the German Ursaring from Skyridge, but this is Skyridge on this page. Skyridge and Aquapolis, really the e-reader sets, some of the most expensive sets of all time. I don't have too many of their cards. And then you get into the EX era, Ruby, Sapphire, Fire Red, Leaf Green, Dragon Frontiers. Yeah, we'll just fly through them. Sandstorm. So this is as far as my Pokemon childhood journey took me. It was essentially through... Ooh, someone let me know in the comments what that set is. Love to know that. Should know that off memory. is what it is. Nuzleaf, Metagross, Togepi, just some awesome Pokemon. This is Fire Red Leaf Green. I know it's like a straighter version of Expedition Base. Some awesome Pidgeots. Yeah. So that is the EX and E-Reader binder. And then in this binder, this will be super quick. It is Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge. We don't need to spend too much time on it. It's all the non-hollows. You saw the hollow collection. So the white circle is Gym Heroes. And then you get to, is that a first edition? Wow, first edition charity. That's sweet. And then you get to Gym Challenge. Actually, a lot of first editions in Gym Challenge. In Gym Challenge, I just clearly opened less of than Gym Heroes. Man, I have almost every like first edition Psyduck print that there is. And I didn't really even process that until now. Misty's and Sabrina Psyducks to go with the normal one. And this is one, will always be one of my favorite cards ever. Just the Squirtle wiping away Misty's tears. And then, yeah, a lot of room to play in this binder. This was the OG childhood binder. I've put Trick or Trade cards in there. Here we go. This is like, this used to be full, right? But it used to be full of hollows and like Charizards that were taped. And I basically took all the cards that were worth framing, displaying, or grading out of here. And these are all the quote-unquote leftovers. But they're all the Rocket, Neo, Fossil Jungle, Legendary Collection sets you've kind of seen me binder to this point. Even a Team Rocket Returns there. But yeah, these are all the sets you've already seen. These are just the leftovers, and maybe some of them are, if you've seen them elsewhere, are worse copies. Like this is probably the worst promo of the Entei card. And it's creased right there and damaged, but there is a minty swirl there. So that's kind of sick. I might actually pull that out and put that in the Vintage Hollow binder. Here's my Yu-Gi-Oh collection. Bet you guys didn't know that this was coming. My Yu-Gi-Oh collection and the Sphinxes. And this is definitely why you subscribe to the channel, is to see Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Not, but I loved them. Loved the anime. All right, we'll fly through some of this. We got more Pokemon. I believe these are Pokemon cards from other collections I've bought in. These are Yu-Gi-Oh cards from another collection I bought. And it fills this binder pretty much all the way to the back. Okay, and then this is my top loader binder, a very cumbersome binder. I love that it can protect your cards well, but I do not really, I will never buy a top loader binder again. It's just very bulky and clunky. But it's just got some modern cards in here, some Japanese ones, some of these Plasma Freeze Evolutions. I like the blue border on them. They're weirdly, for being Evolutions, not valuable, even in their blue border, which is weird. And then just like really, really random. Polygon, if you're lucky, you might get a couple of these. And then some Charizard promos and cards. There's some noise upstairs. Don't mind us. Japanese versions of some pretty sweet modern IRs. And just artwork I love. Cards I pulled basically that I was like, they're honestly not even worth selling. And then some English Obsidian Flames. Right? Kind of a sleeper spot to keep 4 of these bad boys. Absolutely love this Gloom. And love that Pidgeot. Those are 2 that I just absolutely love. Okay, and then random promos, modern cards, more promos, really just kind of like, I don't know. These are not valuable enough to even be worth selling, and I get enough enjoyment to warrant keeping them, if that makes sense. I thought some of these rainbow artworks were cool. This was an amazing rare, I believe. Yep, That rarity right there is the amazing rare, like paintball rainbow pattern. I thought that was really cool. From an era that I didn't really collect and exist during. Here are the remainder of the cards that were pulled in the 2 heavy Fossil and Jungle packs I opened that we did not deem really grade worthy. If they had any very clear whitening or just weren't cards we enjoyed or didn't have value, maybe even in a 10, we just didn't grade them. But those are those. Then you get through some empty pages here, and we finally get to vintage hollows and vintage reverse hollows that aren't anything crazy, but did come from that original black binder over here. So I did pull most of these out from that binder, top loaded them, knew that they were special and hollows and came with some memories. But yeah, didn't like warrant doing really anything further with them. Here's some Portuguese cards picked up from a buddy. And yeah, really just like vintage memory lane, but post WotC, right? This is EX era hollows for the most part. Nothing of like crazy value. All right. I do not know how long this video ended up being. Thank you to any of you who made it this far. Not often is it, yeah, it's fun to look at other people's collections. I don't know how fun it remains an hour into it. And I'm forecasting, given just how much the sun has set since I started recording, that was a 1 hour plus endeavor. It will be the longest video I ever have and potentially will post on this channel. It will take a ton of time to process. There won't be much editing. That part will be easy, but the processing and uploading time to YouTube will take a while. But it was fun. I wanted to get a full, absolutely all-inclusive update out there for you guys and myself in the future of like, where did my collection sit at this moment? And I haven't given you guys an update in some time, and I wanted this one to be full. And clearly a lot has happened to the collection, so it did warrant going through it in detail. It just ended up being an hour. And if you made it to this point, I love you for it. Thanks for giving me a space and a platform and a voice to just nerd out about this hobby and share my passion for it with you guys. And yeah, most importantly, be a good person. Tell someone you love them. There will be more videos coming. I'm going on a trip here, but I'll shoot to keep my 1 to 2 videos and an equal amount of shorts out per week. But yeah, I'm taking a quick vacation. Wanted to get a long collection video out there prior, and then when I return, it's go time, baby. It's Pokemon, you know it. Nundark out. Be a good person. Peace.